Hello, everybody, welcome. It's like a let's get a hell, huh? Huh? Everybody, welcome. It's like a let's get a. So, hello, guys. It's about 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, May 12th. Let me show you this. I have this thing on. And I don't know if it doesn't go all the way here. So, yeah, so I have this wind machine on so that nobody can hear what I'm talking about. I haven't really tested it, but I'm pretty sure it will work. So as you can see, there's people walking around, and I also have changed the audio settings. So what it does is it will basically remove noise from the background. But let's just see. Okay. All right. So let's get started. And I wanted to thank you guys for the nice comments and for watching the channel. So today I am back on the news beat, right? Because I was just doing the tour, and that was a whole other situation. Okay. All right. So there's a lot to talk about as usual. And let's do the protection. I like to ask for protection. A beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head. As I breathe in, I feel my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. Step into it. I step into it, I feel protected. Step into it, I feel connected. I like to ask that informations come only from the highest sources. That it create the good, and only the good. The good for the good people. The good for the good people. All right, so guys, let's get started. Let me share some of the news. I wanted to also just, for those of you who have asked, so some of you have asked about the tour that I went on, the Hamilton and Washington tour. So this is the website to make to book it. It's Revolutionary Tours, NewYorkCity.com. And here it is. They have several different tours. This is the one that I went on, the Hamilton and Washington, New York, Secrets of the Past walking tour. And see, it's not that expensive. It comes to about somewhere around $50 after taxes. So a little bit less than $50, and it's definitely worth it. Okay. All right. Okay, so just wanted to go back here to what the current the latest news is, and of course we saw that Tehran has changed his mind, and of course China's winning. And they lowered the tariffs. U.S.-China agreed to lower most tariffs for 90 days amid trade talks. Both sides are hailing the temporary reprieve, which will cut U.S. duties on Chinese goods to 30%. But analysts say underlying issues remain. So I wanted to ask here what's going to happen, what to expect, what's going to happen next. Okay, so what can we expect here? What will happen next? Show me Z and Trump. What's going to... So it's interesting. I see this image of Z and Trump, and Z with his arms crossed like that. And then I see that he is shown as being huge in relationship to Trump. And the next thing is Trump is running like he's really tiny in comparison in terms of size to Z. And by that, I don't mean that I don't think it's about showing the size of the economies or the countries, but the position, right? That he's in a really much better position, Z is, with all of this. And that Trump just is running away. Now I have a question. Is Trump going to run away because of his position on trade, or is it running away from the presidency? So yeah, I think it just runs away. So is there going to be another conversation about this? or not? How long is it going to stay this current rate, even though it's been partially announced? I see again, Trump has lost. He does not have as much power as he wants. He does not get the results he wanted or he expected. He looks ridiculous. And the business community is really upset at him, period. So things don't look good for him. Okay, so what else? Tell me more. Yeah, I see that the Chinese have agreed to this change and they're waiting for, they're still with their arms crossed and they wait and wait. And I don't think Trump ever comes back. So it's possible that he could go. It sounds weird, right, guys, when you think about it. And there he is today, but that he could go. Okay. So that's what I see for now. Okay, so another topic here to discuss is the news about the ICC. Now, some people had forwarded this information to me, were claiming that somebody else had seen. I don't quite understand, honestly, who said what, but the point is there is this news about the ICC. Now, I looked for it, and what I was able to find was a lawsuit, and this is a Human Rights First. Now, Human Rights First is not the ICC. Okay, so just so you know, I think there's a lot of confusion about this. And I have to tell you that also, I have never seen it being the biggest, like apparently there's people who think this is going to be the thing, or I just don't see it, or I haven't seen it. But let me just check. So let me just show you here what the news is, because as usual, guys, you want to really double check the information that you get from others, right? To make sure that is it really the ICC or what the hell is going on? Okay. All right. So let's go. Let's go here. So this is already clear that this is not the ICC. Somebody's suing the Trump administration right here it is. Human Rights First has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration on behalf of the International Criminal Court, trial attorney and U.S. Army veteran Eric Iverson, challenging the administration's dangerous misuse of U.S. sanctions that threaten accountability for war crimes and violate fundamental rights. So, a veteran of the Judge Advocate General's JAG Corps, Iverson currently leads a team investigating atrocities committed in Darfur since 2002. So he's not in charge of anything. Okay, so I see what you're saying, or what I'm sorry, not you're saying, what they are saying here. In February 2025, the Trump administration issued an executive order sanctioning ICC prosecutor Karim Khan, unjustly placing him on the same U.S. Treasury Department list used for terrorists and human rights abusers. Because Khan is Iverson's ultimate supervisor, Iverson is now at risk of criminal prosecution or steep civil financial penalties for continuing his vital work. Okay, so this is what this actually is. All right. Because again, people were sending me, and I want to say, guys, when you send me stuff and ask questions, send the facts, not the secondhand account of something, because otherwise I don't want to, I'm doing this because there's enough people asking me about it, but don't expect me to opine on secondhand accounts. Okay, make sure that you have factual information when you ask me to review something. Okay, so this is the facts that I was able to find. Okay, all right. So, and this is the lawsuit here that I found. So this was filed here, United States District Court for the District of Columbia. So let's see. Oh, hold on. I don't think I'm sharing. Let's see. Okay, so this is the lawsuit. Now, is this going to impact Trump in some significant way is the question, okay, about this. So let's see, is this going to impact? No. No, it shows me that this is sort of secondary. What has to happen, he has to leave the government. And I don't think that this is going to do that on its own. I think as a secondary matter, it could even be used as there's going to be evidence later on once he leaves as to why he wanted to sanction the ICC. But this is not it. Okay, so is this the beginning? I don't see, does it make sense? So if you actually see what is happening, I don't think this is it. Okay, this was something, a lawsuit filed against the sanctions placed on the ICC court. And it will take time for things to move forward. So do I think that this is as material and significant as some people apparently have claimed? I don't think it is. Okay, so that's this for now. All right. Okay, so because I see that it's, as with all legal matters, it takes time, and we don't have a lot of time. We can't. I'm getting here, guys. Unfortunately, that I don't think we can rely on courts to necessarily remove him, which is what we needed. It didn't have a secondary order of effects, but now not this another moment, right? Because again, the goal here is for him to not be in the government. Do I think that this is it? No, I don't. So let's move to the next question. So this is a newsletter from Politico, and this came out this afternoon of Monday, May 12th. And it's about this whole Trump trip. I had looked into it on Friday, I believe, and I did see Corina was with me then. We saw him being mocked, right? So what has already happened is the news about the Trump accepting a jumbo jet from the Qatari royal family. If the initial reports are factual, I think it's concerning. A little bit rumor told Playbook Adam Wren, Qatar is not our friend. Trump again embraced the idea of such a gift today, telling reporters that it's a great gesture from Qatar and stating he would never be one to turn down that kind of offer. So there was a video earlier today of this. I was listening to it of him on this press conference defending his own receipt of this thing. Okay, so that's the story. Let me ask here, what else is like what is going to happen to this story of the airplane? So, by the way, the sound may be a little off, guys, because I am hold on. I am here at the office, so there are maybe people talking, but I just want to play this because if I don't press this, the audio. Let's see what is going on here with this. Yeah, I just see the amount. It's just all about corruption. And of course, he will say anything. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, I can imagine. Yeah, sure. The airplane is gonna go into the library or be no, of course not, right? And it's so corrupt. And there's the emoluments clause, right? So it's so obvious. But I feel like the reason why this was leaked, is to put pressure for him to leave. Also, that nobody wants him in office, even those people. Let's see here, even them. It tells me, Rosie, it's what you saw yesterday in the tour. Oh, yesterday in the video of yesterday, right? In the tour where the video was yesterday, and then I talked to George Washington and Hamilton, and they were saying how the government is all about giving the foreign nations rights to our government and the rights to dictate our policies. It's 100% pay to play. So the question next is there going to be any consequences for Trump here? Will there be consequences? I see somebody say, no, you can't. No, taking it, no. And then I think he's like, no, I really do want a plane. And I do think that I know apparently some people, a lot of people say, oh, such and such said that he's going to leave to run away to some country. I still don't see it's possible, but I see that he could think about this as a means, a way out in his mind. But do I think it happens? No, because I don't think they will accept the landing of the airplane if he were to escape. I don't think it's so easy. So what happens? I don't think it would be sent. I don't think it's going to come through. I think they said it. I think there may be, in fact, an airplane, but the delivery of it, I think it's going to be disrupted somehow, honestly. Okay. So let's see. All right. Okay. So that's it. Just double checking, triple checking. All right. Okay. So this is the news here about Trump's trip to the Middle East. For Trump, it's a new era of deal making with tech's most coveted commodity. As the president heads to the Middle East, Americans' dominance over AI chips has become a powerful source of leverage for the president. Artificial intelligence chips, which are made by US companies like NVIDIA and AMD, are highly coveted by governments across the Middle East. Leaders of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and UAE want to pour billions of dollars into the construction of data centers to put their countries at the forefront of a new technology heralded for its power to disrupt businesses and create trillions of dollars in economic value. Now, just so you guys know, too, we probably know this, that when MBS took power a little bit before, I think it was right before Trump took power in the first administration, he wanted to change to move the Saudi economy. I don't want to say away from oil, but in preparation of them running out of oil and the oil economy kind of fading out. So they wanted to turn Saudi Arabia into some sort of tech powerhouse. So this has been something they've been doing for a long time. And a lot of the venture capitalists have taken money from Saudis and they have invested in a lot of American companies. So it's not new, but they are now taking a different, taking a different route. They want now direct control over it. They want their own companies to have, right? So to have control over the technology, because before they would invest in these companies, and if they go public, they would have the money, make money from it. But now again, they want the actual technology themselves. Okay, so let's see what is going to happen in this as far as technology negotiations and other negotiations. So what's going to happen? That's right, nuclear, but that's right. I see that again, this image of Trump wanting money, cash, wanting deals because he and his family are set to take a cut from these deals. But I think that things have changed now for Trump. It is not like it was in the first administration. This time, I do think it's going to be harder. They are going to want to demand things, and they definitely are going to use Trump's thirst for cash personally as a means to control the Gaza situation. I think they want, and this happened, guys, before. I think it was over the weekend, right? Some sort of meeting. And I saw that they are now negotiating some sort of what is it called? Like a ceasefire on Gaza. But now because the Arab countries have a lot more power. I mean, they had power before, but they were not exercising it quite as much. So they're pushing Bibi away. I think in the end, by the way, this is a side conversation to the main conversation, which is what's going to happen here. Oh, by the way, guys, I have to change here the voice mic mode. So anyway, going back to the conversation here about Saudi Arabia, Trump, their meeting today and the next few days, and the Gaza war, Bibi and Israel. So like I said, they're pushing Trump to do something about Gaza because they now have a lot more power, and they're going to make all of this conditional, which is then an extension likely to affect the Gaza war and Bibi's government. So I think in a way, Bibi's government is going to suffer from this. And it's likely to push to the ending of Bibi's government. But at the same time, as I do see this ending of Bibi's government, I do think that when Trump goes, their ending is close. Like, I don't think there's only, I think if the most a few months. I'm not talking about like not them. How do you say this? Like, not that I know exactly the timing of each one exactly, right? But I think that when they go, they all go in different circumstances, but it's almost as if their destiny is tied together in a way or another. So I do feel like Bibi is set to go sooner rather than later as a consequence of these meetings and their leverage over Trump, financially speaking. Okay. Because you may or may not know this, for example, that Qatar was a big supporter of Hamas and they financed Hamas for a long time. And Bibi was very okay with it. He knew that Qatar was giving, like, I don't know if it's billions, but really a lot of money to Qatar. I'm sorry, a lot of money to Hamas. He turned a blind eye on it. He even said, "Oh, don't worry about Hamas." They were worried about some other group. I don't remember which one it was, and Hamas was quiet for a long time until October 7th. So then there's also in Israel a huge scandal about Israeli staffers close to Bibi receiving money from Qatar. So it's not new. I'm not saying, like, you understand, there's like the corruption surrounding Qatar and Bibi, for example, is not new, but he's been able to suppress the information from coming out in Israel. And also, so now with the corruption of Trump, right? It's like all of this is in a way or another connected. Okay. But I do think, let me ask this, since I'm mentioning this, I know it sounds, a lot of the things that I'm saying may sound a little complicated or contradictory, but that's kind of what it is here. So let me ask about the Gaza war. So is it going to end soon? Today it's a Monday, May 12th. So Gaza war. Okay. So I feel like towards the end of the June, July, it could happen, but I don't want to say for sure because Bibi is a very sly character. So anyway, so let's continue here about the meetings between Trump. Let's go now country by country. Let's say Trump and Saudi Arabia. What is going to happen at the meetings? Trump coming in with a number, expecting to make all these deals, but again, they put the war at the forefront and they negotiate all these other things. So I don't think they're going to want to sign anything until they get some guarantees from the US. Again, this is all talk, right? And I see that, I think I talked about it. Jared is there, but he's like, oh no, oh no, oh, we're not going to get what we want exactly when he wanted, and he's upset about it. But because, by the way, guys, just so you know, something else, you may or may not know this. So we know that Jared's family is very interested in Gaza because they want to build their hotels or whatever things there. They want to put settlers. And one thing I got before talking to somebody else about it is that I don't think that the Saudis, the Qatar people, are going to want the settlers there at all. So they're going to make it so that the settlers are pushed out of this. But what happens is the settlers represent the far right in Israel. And the far right is what supports Bibi government. So if the settlers are pushed out, and I think they will be by the US, does it make sense? Then Bibi is in very dire situation in his own government. And this is likely what may make his government fall, because also, by the way, the war in Gaza is connected to the hostages and God, right? And Bibi, this is very sad to say, but Bibi is not controversial even. Everybody knows this. He is unwilling to free to make a deal with Hamas to free the hostages because he wants the war to go on so much, because the war is what is preventing him from facing justice. Yet another person who is in charge of who is involved in corruption, who has legal problems, and then is using this tragedy to keep himself in power. So it's all going to lead to the collapse of his government eventually. Okay, sooner rather than later, God willing. Okay. Anyway, so let's continue here about the Middle East meeting and Trump. So Saudis. Okay, so then that's right. I think again, Trump comes in with a lot of um, bravado and expecting a lot, but he leaves relatively empty-handed. And I think he realizes that MBS, now that he has basically bought him, it's a different situation from the beginning, right? It's a very different situation from the first admin when he was like, oh, begging and doing all these things, right? So not begging, like he was like, oh, Trump, like he's trying to convince him to do his bidding. And now that he bought basically both him, Trump, and Kushner, he treats them like employees. It's a very different relationship, and they're a little surprised. Oh, leopard ate my face because the leopard was hungry. The leopard ate my face. The leopard, no, was hungry. Leopard ate my face because that bird was hungry. Leopard ate my face. He did it. Uh-huh. Okay, so I was going to get out of this, but I think it's clear here, right? Okay. So then, and I see Trump very demoralized after the meeting with MBS. Oh, you know what tells me, guys, a demoralizing vision I have of Trump, like that he's demoralized. It somehow reminds me of the image of Trump when he went to Helsinki, remember? And he was like this after meeting Putin. That's similar, I feel like. It's quite similar because when they have financial information on him, he becomes very compliant. And I think that's kind of what they're going to do here with him. And just so you know, just like some sidebar conversation about the Saudis. Saudis, as we know, are very harsh, right? And for example, there was a prime minister in Lebanon who was basically financially connected to the Saudis. He was the son of Rafik Hariri, who was killed in a car bomb. I think Hariri was quite popular, but it was his son. I forgot his name. I don't know the first name, but it's also Hariri, his son. So he was summoned to Saudi Arabia, and apparently I don't know if he was tortured or he was beaten up or he was shaken when he came back from Saudi Arabia, and he resigned because MBS pushed him. I think he pushed him to resign, and he did. So this is how bad, they buy you, they treat you like trash. And that's what Trump is realizing, right? That's how this is going to be treated. All right. When they have financial information on him, he becomes very compliant. And I think that's kind of what they're going to do here with him. And just so you know, just like some sidebar conversation about the Saudis. Saudis, as we know, are very harsh, right? And for example, there was a prime minister in Lebanon who was basically financially connected to the Saudis. He was the son of Rafik Hariri, who was killed in a car bomb. I think Hariri was quite popular, but it was his son. I forgot his name. I don't know the first name, but it's also Hariri, his son. So he was summoned to Saudi Arabia, and apparently I don't know if he was tortured or he was beaten up or he was shaken when he came back from Saudi Arabia, and he resigned because MBS pushed him. I think he pushed him to resign, and he did. So this is how bad, they buy you, they treat you like trash. And that's what Trump is realizing, right? That's how this is going to be treated. All right. Okay, so now that we talked about the Saudis, let me ask about Qatar. We know that again, if you don't know this, guys, I wanted to remind you that because somebody the other day left a comment saying that wasn't sure that it's a different country. Qatar and Saudi Arabia are not the same, and there have been some pretty significant rifts between the two countries because Qatar famously owns the network Al Jazeera, the biggest news outlet in the Middle East. And so that's something that the Saudis are very upset about, have been very upset about for a long time, because from time to time it appears to have some sort of like quasi pro Iran. I don't know exactly, to be honest with you, why they hate Al Jazeera so much, but they do. And so Jared Kushner was when Trump took power in the last administration. Jared Kushner played a role in pushing MBS to do an embargo against Qatar. And the interesting thing is that what happened was that Jared and his dad were looking for investors for their real estate company in New York. Qatar looked at the deal and passed it. And after that, it's when Jared went to MBS and and kind of pushed him to do this embargo against Qatar, apparently. And the embargo happened for quite a while, and it damaged Qatar too. But still, they had to have a ton of oil, so it's not like it damaged them that much. But that happened. So this is a past history of Qatar, the U.S., and Trump's family. Okay, so having said that, let's go back here, and then they come and offer this airplane. So what's happening? I see they offer this, and they knew that Trump would take it, but I still don't see it actually happening in reality. That it will be shipped to the U.S. I think that the military is not going to accept it, and I think for obvious reasons, right? Because it's supposed, as I was reading something, it said it was going to be, they wanted it to be the Air Force one, which is so messed up. Okay, so anybody want it? Anybody? Okay, what a mess. So what happens is I see that he was flattered enough. Again, Trump is all about money. They knew that if he had made this offer, they would be treated very well. And okay, and then I see again what they really want from Trump is the ending of pushing the end of the war, and then they're going to make that conditional on a lot of things. So I see that actually it ends in a neutral manner for Trump, not as badly as it did for the Saudis. So the next country is UAE, right? UAE is the country where Dubai is. It's at the city of Dubai, right? Is located. Okay, so tell me about Dubai. I mean Dubai, UAE, and Trump. I see they're colder. They're pushing for more, and it's interesting. Now I see very clearly Trump realizing that he is an employee of theirs, that the relationship has changed dramatically, and they don't. And I feel like it's interesting. I believe they're skeptical of a lot of things. They're skeptical that they don't seem to think that Trump is going to stay that much longer. It's interesting. And okay, so and then I also feel like they don't want, do they have Starlink? I don't, oh, that's right. There's not a that's right. There's no Starlink because it's not a democracy, right? It's not like there's elections over there. It's like, listen, I don't like MBS. It's not like how it is. These are huge monarchies. So that's why there's no talk of, that's right. There's no talk of Starlink, of course. Oh my God, what a mess. What a trash. What's trash land. So again, let me go here, continue to talk about this. So what happens at the end of it? I just see Trump coming back very demoralized because again, he wanted this money to come soon. So what happens if the money does not come? And it's just really demoralized and weakened. Okay. So anyway, so I know it sounds crazy because a lot of people think, oh, but why does he need money and all that? I think he like when you take money from mobsters from different countries, right? Whether it's Russia or whatever, I don't know, God knows where he takes money from. They have a lot of control over you because they could change the terms, you know how that is. So it's a mess. It's like was it robs Peter to pay Paul, the kind of thing, right? The conversation. So anyway, so that's what I got here about this. So, all right, so let's see. Let's just pause 1 second. Okay, so connected to this is this article from the Wall Street Journal. Trump's family is rapidly striking business deals in the Mideast. Golf resorts, crypto deals, and financial investments blur the line between private business and public policy. When President Trump tours the Middle East this week, he will be looking to secure investments in the U.S. from the world's richest petrostates. His family businesses and close associates already have been striking deals at a rapid clip. In the past year, Trump-branded residential towers have been launched in Dubai and Jeddah, and a developer in April unveiled a Trump luxury golf resort at a state-owned project in Qatar at an event featuring Eric Trump and a Qatari minister. A UAE and state and royal family fund earlier this month used $2 billion of a new crypto stablecoin used by Trump's World Liberty Financial to invest in a crypto exchange. The Trump administration is in talks with the Qatari government about accepting a plane that would serve as a temporary replacement for U.S. aging Air Force One jets. Okay, so guys, look at this, the amass here, and here it is. In addition, state-backed funds from Qatar and UAE were major investors, and in a $6 billion fundraising round for Trump's advisor Elon Musk's XAI in February, Dubai tapped his boring company to build an 11-mile tunnel at work. So here is the craziness of it all. So let's see what is going. My question here. I mean, we know that. What can you say? So what is going to happen to all this corruption? I mean, I just think let's just focus first on the Trump family. What is going to happen to their investments, to the money that is coming to them in the next, let's say next 5 years. Okay, so let's see. Wow, it's interesting. I see that, yes, this is a natural and easy way for them to practice corruption, right? Buying these people. And then I see that, that's right, it's very buzzing, it's bubbling and all that. There's all this cash. But then I see that in the future, it shows me it burning down. I don't think it's literal where they're gonna put fire like on these properties, but it looks like as Trump goes down, they are going to want to erase any and all association. Oh, because they were going to want to rebuild it ties with the new US administrations. I have a question, but couldn't they just like sit behind and wait? Because you know how Trump came back? What if, do they think that is not going to happen? The family could come back. Is this going to happen like that or not? Let's see. Is this going to happen? No, not like that. No. Why? Because the scandal is going to be too much. Oh, especially since it's going to come out that the whole thing with Trump administration and their associates is their relationship with foreign countries and how they were taking foreign money and doing whatever these foreign countries wanted. So that's interesting. All right. So I have another question, guys, related to this. Actually, Pam Bondi, it came to me here. Just 1 second. I wanted to share with you because Pam Bondi, up to very recently, was she was a registered, at least that was legal, right? In the sense that she was a registered foreign agent of Qatar. But let's just see here. And this is the U.S. Senate Committee on the Judiciary. Pam Bondi's extensive lobbying for wealthy special interests and foreign government poses serious conflict of interest. Okay, so she was a registered lobbyist with Ballard Partners. And here it is, here. Lobbying Congress on behalf of Qatar as a foreign registered lobbyist. Bondi lobbied Congress on behalf of Qatar, earning $115,000 per month. And again, technically, guys, this was legal because she was not part of the government, right? But it raises the questions, right? She's helping out her clients. So let's see here. So let's see here what's going on with Pam Bondi and Qatar. Oh, she's saying she gives Trump the green light to do whatever Qatar, she essentially, she wants Qatar to have power because, and I see that she may be also getting money on their side, like on the down low, okay, some Swiss bank account, something like that for this. But is she going to, let's see here, it's May 12th, how long? Let's see what's going to happen in the next month or so, like just to check, is she going to stay in the government? So May 12th. Yeah, I even see that mid-June she could not be there. Let's see. Guys, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I would like this to be done as soon as possible, but we'll never know, right? When I look at, I don't see her image on June 12th. Okay, well, let's see. Fingers crossed. Okay, all right. It's interesting, as I say this to you guys, I see the image of George Washington. He's saying to me in his farewell address, he said something about foreign interests. And let's see here, actually. He's saying that she's exactly what he had envisioned. And it's almost, guys, I do think there was something about George Washington that was a visionary, and he may have seen something. He had, let's see. That's right. Okay, let me share this with you. Okay. George Washington warned against political infighting in his farewell address. As he stepped down from the presidency, Washington urged Americans to always place the interests of the nation over their political and regional affiliations. Here it is. In 1796, as he neared the end of his second term, President George Washington was 64 years old and suffering from ills, both physical and political. Plagued by painful dentures and rheumatism and facing increasing attacks from opponents of his policies, the former Revolutionary War general decided he would not seek a third term in the nation's highest office. As he did so, he and his longtime friend and protege, Alexander Hamilton, drafted a farewell address. The 7,641 word document, the nation's first president, called for the American people to remain unified, resist the rise of political factions, and avoid the influence of foreign powers. Okay, so let's see here. Danger, because that's what he's telling me here. And I see, interesting, he is on his death. Again, this image of yesterday, him on his deathbed and talking about it, that she represents, and she was saying she represents the violation of the Constitution and its highest order. And the normally he's saying not just her, but all of those who normalized over the years the influence, the entrance of all these foreign powers into our system, normalizing lobbying. So a lot of lobbying laws have to change. The FAR Act has to return. So he's saying those people, he shows me the Constitution as being this, like almost like a space thing. It's not spatial, but it is like the way he's describing. And if you step into it, use it like a rug, you get kicked out. He's saying it's like almost like a curse. Okay, so just regionalism would lead. Let me just continue here. Okay, just regionalism would lead to the formation of the political parties. Washington believed partisanship would open the door to foreign influence and corruption. While he advocated for the United States to be in good terms with all nations, especially in commercial relations, he argued that inveterate antipathies against particular nations and passionate attachments for others should be excluded. Okay. So let's see. Full text. Let's see here. Here it is. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just going to. Okay. Without looking for an extremity of this kind, the common and continual mischiefs of the spirit of the party are sufficient to make it the interest and duty of a wise people to discourage and restrain it. It serves always to distract the public councils and enfeeble the public administration. It agitates the community of ill-founded jealousies and false alarms, kindles the animosity of one part against another, foments occasionally riot and an insurrection. It opens the door to foreign influence and corruption, which finds a facilitated access to government through the channels of party passions. Okay, so anyway, I'm not going to here. All right, so here it is. Against the insidious wiles of foreign influence, I conjure you to believe me, fellow citizens. The jealousy of a free people ought to be constantly awake, since history and experience prove that foreign influence is one of the most painful foes of Republican governments. But that jealousy to be useful must be impartial, else it becomes the instrument of the very influence to be avoided, instead of defense against it. Okay. All right. Okay, so uh it's not the point here to read the entire thing, but again, something that Washington warned against. So, Mr. Washington, do you think we can recover from this? Or are we just doomed? Dear girl. He's like, I see that he doesn't have the danger situation makes it hard for him to speak clearly. He's like, dear girl, we have said that this nation is destined to thrive and outlast us. Thrive and it's saying, but it's not, it's like, it's not destined to, it's essentially meant to be resilient and thrive, but it needs to shake off the obstacles that have shown themselves through the course of its run. And it's kind of hard to explain what I'm getting here. It's something like we see what is happening, and the Constitution is a living thing. We all have to make sure it is um, codified. It's exercised, and there changes need to be made in order for laws to live up to the values stated by the Constitution. Because he's saying there's two things: one are the laws, and the other is making sure the laws are executed. So, not putting trash in prison is one of them. Being worried about factionalism, right? We're like, oh, but we don't want to. We want to look like we don't. We're not. We don't want to be partisan. But that's stupid if you're not placing, right? That the whole thing is that you should place truth and the values of the Constitution above everything. And if we don't do that, then we arrive at this situation where we have a foreign bought person in charge. But I see that what he's suggesting is that he is destined to be condemned and to face justice, even if he hasn't thus far. Does that make sense? Because if he's not stopped, then the nation could crumble. Yes. Like, I don't mean to say that he's going to go, doesn't make sense to like to spend actual time in prison, but that he's going to be made an example of in this lifetime. Yes, we are going to see it. Yes, he's saying. Yes. Okay. Okay. And he's saying, Rosie, you're not going to be 50 to see it. So I'm actually, people may be shocked about this, but I am close to 50. So very close, not a few years, the most. Right. So, and he's not going to last much longer. No, not at all. But all this stuff is going to come out, not necessarily at once because it's so much, but the like the how to say, twirl, how to say it, like how he's tied to these foreign forces, him and his government, it will come out, not just come out, but once they leave, it will be exemplified and made light of. Okay, so it's not meant to last, no. So, okay. So these are the last words of the day here from George Washington. And with that, I see you later, alligators. All right, guys. Bye. Thanks for watching.
Prayer and energy time. Let's use this time to send energy to people healing and going through complex health challenges. Their bodies need the energy we send them. Bo, recuperating from intestinal surgery at the Mount Sinai Hospital, battling cancer and winning. I spoke to her today, and I felt her mother telling me she will survive and thrive. Cecilia, her sister, visits her daily. Cecilia is herself also battling cancer, and she's also winning. Bella is also undergoing cancer treatment. Let's envision her pain free and 100% cancer free. Treatment. Let's send Bo, Cecilia, and Bella energy. Bo, Cecilia, and Bella are fully healed, full of energy, cancer free, and proud to tell this story of great health and recovery. Okay, so just going to be silent for a bit as I send them energy right now. And I hope you do the same. And also, you can think of others that you know, your loved ones, someone that you feel may be in need of energy, and focus on them. Okay? Okay, so let's start. I'll be silent here for a little bit. Thank you again. Let's create this circle of energy around them. And so it is.